you often talk about the authoritarianism of these states, Saudi, China, Russia. It seems to me as we observe what's going on in Saudi, and maybe the case could be made in China to some degree, although there are steps taken back, but also in Russia, that the US influence, the economic and the political influence associated with these foreign policy conversions, could they maybe be driving these countries to be more liberal? We're seeing in Saudi now that women can drive, that there's new industry, that there's education, that there's a technology industry booming, that you don't need to have a turnover of government and a turnover of what is often classified as authoritarian regime for the operating model to be influenced by the West in such a way that change happens more slowly. And you do see liberalism emerge in these countries with better educational standards, more equality, more human rights. And so do you think because you often kind of paint a picture that it's bad guys versus us, do you not think that we're making an influence on these places locally and that we're seeing that change?
I would take exception to it's bad guys versus us. I don't think we want to create a legion of dictators, and nor do I think that's what this is. I would actually agree with Sachs. We should be embracing these folks and having strong relationships with them, even though we are fundamentally different operating systems for our countries, democracies. So
you think we should be embracing? You think we should have a relationship with Putin?
100%. I mean, and we did, right? I mean, Obama was making some progress on that, and we did some great work when. And obviously, Trump has a very, very long-standing, very deep, we don't know exactly how deep relationship with Putin. And we did great work with, he did his pageant over there. Okay. I'm making some jokes. They bought a lot of apartments.
Yeah, that was a joke. Okay, go on.
Just a little joke there, but who knows? We'll find out over time, I suppose.
Okay.
But we did great work with China in terms of containing North Korea's nuclear ambitions, right? And so there are things we can collaborate on. I think the most important thing, though, is that while we are embracing them, building fabric between them, communication, trade, whatever it is, we are not relying on them. And that's really what we have to look at when it comes to the kingdom, because if not for the fact that the kingdom won the, born on top of, oil fields lottery, we would not be in a deep relationship with this country. They're living under a 10th century rule in terms of how they treat women, gay people, et cetera. And the human rights is an important issue. And we wouldn't have a deep relationship with them if we didn't have to deal with the oil, but we do. And so what I think we really need to be focusing on here is maintaining great relationships with them. Yeah, we don't want to drive them to each other's arms. But to Chamath's point, I don't think they're creating the Legion of Doom to take on the US. I think they're just doing what's in their economic interest. And we need to do what's in our economic interest, which really is investing in nuclear, investing in solar, batteries, wind, and even bridge fuels. And what's in the interest of the free world and Europe, exactly. And if we are independent of them, then we don't have to go over there and kiss the ring like Biden had to do. We don't have to, deal with excuses when they do horrible things like murder Khashoggi, or, just this past week they put Sama al-Shahab in jail. She's a PhD student from the University of Leeds. She's now going to go to jail for decades because when she went back to Saudi Arabia on vacation, this happened last week, gentlemen, because she retweeted people. And so these human rights violations, the murder of Khashoggi, all these things add up, the Uyghurs, et cetera. And we'll have a better ability to negotiate and lead them as the shining city on the hill when we work on being that shining city on the hill and we're not dependent on them. And that's really what I think we have to focus on, is reducing the dependency on these countries. I think we all agree, whether it's medical devices, PPE, drugs, making our iPhones, or oil to keep us. And then so does Europe. And that's where nuclear comes in.